Hello, I'm your instructor Miss Yvonne. We're going to be going over simple math for pharmacology. Before any lecture, we always go over our objectives. It says after completing this chapter, you should be able to define and spell the terms for this chapter, demonstrate the ability to perform basic math problems, compare basic units of measurement between the metric and household system, demonstrate accurate conversions among measurement systems. Describe equations used to calculate medication dosages, apply mathematical computations to solve dosage calculation equations, describe equations used to calculate pediatric dosages, and identify symbols and abbreviations used when calculating dosages. Let's look at pharmacology. Pharmacology is the study of medications and drugs, including their forms, intentions for use, and their effects. An overdose. An overdose is simply taking too much medication. There's also an underdose. An underdose is when enough medication is not given to achieve the desired effect. Let's look at the mathematics. Addition and subtraction. Used in drug calculation, used in everyday tasks in the medical office, such as taking inventory and collecting payments. Multiplication and division, used as often as addition and subtraction. It is important to have a strong knowledge of basic multiplication tables when working in the medical field. You remember those old time tables? Let's look at fractions. Fraction is a part of a whole number. The numerator is the top number, and the denominator is the bottom number. A fraction bar separates the two numbers. Common fractions used in the medical office include 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 3/4. Used often when indicating measurements and dosages. Mixed numbers are made up of both a whole number and a fraction. Decimals. Anything less than the number 1 is often written as a decimal. Fractions can also be written as in decimal form. To convert fractions to a decimal, simply divide the numerator by the denominator. When writing and reading decimals, it is necessary to correctly identify the decimal point and place value of the number. When speaking or verbalizing decimal values, state decimal placeholder, tenths, hundredths, thousands, or where the last digit falls. Equivalents. Equivalents are things that are equal. They have the same value. In mathematics, for example, fraction 3/4 and decimal 0.75 are equivalents. How did I get that answer? I'm glad you asked. I divided 3 by 4, and it came out to or equals to 0.75. Often working with a ratio or a decimal is easier than working with an equivalent fraction. Leading and trailing zero rule. It is important to understand the placement of a zero in a decimal. When writing a decimal number less than 1, you must apply the leading zero rule. Trailing zero rule states that it is never appropriate to include a zero after a whole number. These rules were used to reduce the number of errors in medicine. So let's sum it all up. The medical assistant should be familiar with dosage calculations to be accurate. That is so very important because it could mean the difference between life and death. I need you to do a short outline on this short lecture and submit it. You may have to go back and listen to it again, but that's all right. Thank you.